Hello, I'm Hyunmi from Mocar. The place I'm at today is the KGM Experience Center in Gangnam, Seoul. I looked it up because I heard that the first domestically produced electric pickup truck, Musso EV, was released here. Let me explain to you what kind of car this is by summarizing 10 of its features. Okay, let's look at it together to the end. First feature of this car is its name, Musso EV. Actually, we first encountered this car as a concept 2 years ago at the Seoul Mobility City, and back then it was called the Torres EVT. I thought the name Torres EV truck suited the design, platform and powertrain much better, but the final name ended up being Musso EV. They plan to operate this pickup truck under the separate brand name Musso. Starting with the Musso EV, the Rexton Sports will also be renamed to Musso Sports, and the Rexton Sports Khan will be changed to Musso Khan. When people hear the name Musso, many remember it as a very premium SUV. The Musso Sports was discontinued in April 2006, and now after 18 years it has made a comeback as the Musso EV. So it's actually a Torres, but they're calling it the Musso EV. I think some people might feel a bit disappointed about that. I think there might be quite a few people who feel a bit disappointed about that. Now let's take a look at the second feature of the Musso EV, which is its exterior design. It has DRL lamps similar to those of the Torres electric vehicle, and it features straight lamps with a 6-slot grille designed into the lamp details, just like the Torres. You can see that the actual position, shape and function of the headlamps are exactly the same as well. However, one difference from the Torres electric vehicle is that instead of a painted color, this upper part is treated with a black high-gloss finish. By using plastic parts, it gives off a feeling that it can withstand obstacles better when going through rough terrain, which indicates a design more specialized for off-roading. You can see that aspect as well. And here, they've added some red design details as well. Here, you can clearly see that the red design is obviously inspired by these tow hooks, because they need to be especially visible at all times, even when there's mud on them at night or in bad weather conditions. And here at the bottom, we also have this specifically silver skid plate. The silver skid plate also gives the impression that it will be able to drive off-road a little better. Moving to the side, there is one design that should be noted on the driver's side fender. This is a design that locks the hood like this in the Jeep Wrangler. When you look at it in reality, it has no function at all. It is just used as a design element. It is not a lamp or anything like that. Also, the charging port is located in the same place on the driver's side fender. The part where you click on the charging port has a detail of the construction site inspection. This can be considered a characteristic. Looking at it like this, there is a garnish like this on the side. This can be said to be the same as the Torres EVX. Now, if you look a little further to the back of the side, you can see the moose logo located here. In fact, the moose, rhinoceros logo, used to be a little more 3D and colorful, but you can see that it has changed to a 2D form like this. And there is also a handle garnish like this on the C-pillar. In fact, now, when I touched it, it was quite solid and I thought it could function well as a handle. When you put something on this top and tie it here, it can become a new support point. So it seems like a garnish that can actually function as well as a design garnish. However, one thing you should know from the side is that this car is not an electric car that was basically modified from the Torres. So you can see that the battery sticks out a lot towards the bottom. That's why the ground clearance looks very low. If you measure the ground clearance, it's about 200 millimeters from the ground to the battery. In fact, 200 millimeters is not that low. The EV6 is about 170 millimeters, so you can't say it's that low. However, since it's a Musso EV, it's a pickup truck anyway, and many people might be thinking of going off-road or something like that, but I don't really recommend taking this car off-road because the battery can be impacted. Oh, but if there's one thing I regret about the side design, it's the wheels. The overall exterior design is very good for off-road. It was designed with a feeling that it would run, but these wheels are made in a way that they are like those of an urban electric SUV. Right now, the wheels are 17-inch wheels with a size of 246 kilowatts, and 17 tires are Kumho Cruise EV tires. But I think it would look much better if it had wheels with a design that is more specialized for off-road driving. Moving on to the rear design, the original concept was the Torres, so tailgate design. But you can see that the tailgate has been designed in the KGM style. You can see that the tail lamps are designed in a bone shape made with a surface-emitting LED. The quality of the design details like the LED lamps feels really impressive. I think the turn signals will be located in this middle section. In the case of reverse lights, you can see that they are located at the bottom of this bumper. So what do you think of the look of Musso? Some people might say that this is a clean design, while others might still argue, isn't this just a Torres EV truck? What's Musso EV about it? Regardless, I don't see any major flaws in the exterior design. It definitely captures that off-roader vibe well. Now, let's take a look at the third feature, which is the interior design. We would love to open the door and check it out, but since the car hasn't been fully unveiled yet, we can't show you the interior design directly. However, we do have some photos and information available. Basically, the interior design is very similar to that of the Torres, or EVX, and the Action. Following the design language of existing KGM vehicles, it features a 12.3-inch instrument panel that is seamlessly integrated with the infotainment display. You can also see that the gear selector is a toggle type, allowing for up and down adjustments. The steering wheel and other elements are also similar to those found in the Action. You can see that it has the same steering wheel that was in the Action. So, it has retained the feel of existing KGM models. I think that's a fair assessment. We can't see it in person right now, but the official photos have been released. Looking at these photos and based on my observations, it seems that the interior design of the Musso EV is very similar to that of existing KGM vehicles like the Action, Torres, EVX, and Torres. Let me explain the fourth feature of the Musso EV, the two-row space. I would also like to go in and check this, but I ask for your understanding that I cannot show you properly right now. Nevertheless, the second row is equipped with a sliding, reclining seat. So in the past, pickup trucks could not recline the second row seats at all because there was a wall at the back. However, in the Kia Tasman or the Musso EV, a reclining seat that can slide the buttocks forward and recline the second row backrest like this has been newly developed and applied. So this seat has a maximum reclining angle of 32 degrees. So it has been developed and installed with a reclining angle that is 2 degrees more than the Kia Tasma. Tasma 1. Okay, and the second row seats are here now, and the front seats are located around here. When you look at this, KGM explains that the couple distance of the Musso EV, that is the distance from the backrest of the front seat to the buttocks of the second row seat, is 850 minutes. So, for example, in general compact SUVs, I think it will show a couple distance similar to cars like Tucson or Sportage. And it is also expected to secure the same level of legroom as the Torres EVX over there. Let's find out about the fifth feature of the Musso EV, its performance. In the case of this Musso EV, it is basically provided as a front-wheel drive model. So in the case of the front-wheel drive model, a motor is attached to the front axle to generate a maximum output of 207 horsepower. The model on display here is a four-wheel drive model, so the 207 horsepower motor in the front wheels is applied to the rear wheels as well to generate maximum output. It is said to be a large electric pickup truck that produces 413 horsepower. This car is Korea's strongest LFP electric vehicle released, and it is also the first model with 4 wheels. No, it is an LFP battery, but 410 horsepower. Due to the characteristics of LFP batteries, they can be somewhat disadvantaged when it comes to delivering high power instantly. Nevertheless, achieving a combined output of 413 horsepower is quite impressive. This vehicle is equipped with an 80.6 kWh battery, and the front-wheel drive model shows a driving range of 400 km on a single charge. The four-wheel drive model has not yet received certification from the Ministry of Environment, so the driving range for that will be released later. However, I expect the four-wheel drive model to show a driving range in the low to mid 300 km range. So the front-wheel drive model has a driving range of 400 kilometers on a single charge, and the combined efficiency is a decent 4.2 km per kilowatt. However, it's important to note that both the front-wheel drive and four-wheel drive models will see a significant drop in driving range once loaded. Now, let's talk about the sixth feature of the Musso EV, which is its cargo capacity. First, looking at the length of the cargo bed, the width measures about 151 cm. And when we measure the length, it comes out to around 132 cm. So the cargo bed size is approximately 115 cm in width and 122 cm in length. Additionally, the maximum cargo capacity is stated to be 500 kg. 130 cm loading box size, 150 cm wide, 130 cm long. And in terms of loading capacity, the maximum loading capacity is 500 kilograms. Since this vehicle is an electric pickup truck, it naturally cannot carry large loads. This is because the battery is located underneath the vehicle, and in the case of the four-wheel drive model, there's also an electric motor that needs to fit under there. This setup makes the weight distribution less favorable compared to a typical gasoline pickup truck where the powertrain is concentrated at the front. So it makes sense that the cargo capacity is only 500 kilo. However, inside the cargo bed, there's a partition that helps prevent items from spilling out, allowing you to separate the inside from the outside for more organized storage. This feature makes it very practical indeed for use. When comparing it to the basic model of the Rexton Sports, which has a width of 157 cm and a length of 130 cm, the Musso EV shows a similar size for its truck bed. Now let's talk about the seventh feature of the Musso EV, which is its price. In terms of pricing, the base MX trim is priced at 48 million won. While the higher Black Edge trim is priced at 50.5 million won. But this vehicle is an electric truck. If you change the subsidy to 8.38 million won, the final price is you'll be able to purchase this car for around 39 million won. The eighth feature of the Musso EV is that there are various benefits available. This vehicle is an electric cargo truck, so there are actually two major benefits to mention. There are basically purchase benefits for small business owners. Up to 30% of the national subsidy is provided, and in the case of business owners, the value-added tax for this vehicle can be refunded. In terms of receiving a 10% value-added tax refund, there are various benefits, and this also feels like one of the charms of the Musso EV. So after receiving all of those benefits to the maximum, the Seoul Metropolitan Government can buy this car, 3.3 million won. At 33.3 million won, it's a price that might make even those who weren't considering it think twice. Now, the ninth feature of the Musso EV is that it's not all good news. There are two disadvantages you should be aware of when purchasing this electric cargo truck. First, since this vehicle is an electric cargo truck, regular passenger car insurance does not apply. This means your previous insurance history won't be recognized, and you'll need to sign up for a completely new insurance policy, which will likely be at a higher cost. Also, regular passenger cars undergo inspections every 4 years, but the Musso EV, being an electric cargo truck, requires an electric vehicle inspection every year. This could be seen as a bit of an inconvenience. Additionally, since this is a cargo vehicle, it won't be allowed in the first lane of the highway. Finally, the 10th feature of the Musso EV is that the first 250 customers will receive a G-Shock watch in collaboration with Musso EV. We haven't seen the actual watch yet, but there's already a lot of interest in it on the Naver Cafe called Gisamo, which is a community for G-Shock lovers. And if you're interested, you don't necessarily have to buy the Musso EV just for the watch, but it wouldn't hurt to take a look at the design. So, we've quickly gone over the 10 features of the Musso EV. What do you think after reviewing all of them? First, the attractive price starting at 33.3 million won was definitely a selling point. And there were also some parts that felt like advantages, but there were also some parts that felt a bit disappointing. We will tell you more details through our upcoming test drive, so until then, please subscribe, like, and set an alarm. This has been Mocar Lee Yongbin. Thank you.